Hello, and welcome to what I think is my first comic book review. Is this my first comic book review? Anyways, we're going to be talking about Teen Titans, a kid's game, which, fun fact, is the first comic book that I ever bought back in... When did this come out? It's somewhere. It's somewhere in there. I'll find it when I roll the intro. But yeah, this is the first comic book I ever bought. I was a really big fan of Teen Titans, the TV show. You know, the show. Not Teen Titans Go, but Teen Titans, the show. I think I need to lower this a little bit more. There. That looks better. But yeah, if you grew up in that era, you know that show was all over the place. Everyone loved the Teen Titans show, so yeah, I had to go ahead and I bought a comic book. It was real cheap. And that's the comic that we're going to talk about today. I actually haven't reread this in a long time, and it was really great to go back and revisit it. And I get to talk about DC. If you are a fan of my channel, or if you've seen enough of my videos, I have went on quite a few tangents about DC because I'm a huge Batman fan / just DC fan in general. So today, and also I'm going to be watching the new Superman soon. So I am going to have 2 excuses this week to talk about DC, and I am so excited. Because I wanted to reread this, and I was like, I haven't done a book review in a long time. It's perfect. It's perfect. And we're going to talk about it. So without any further ado, grab your snacks, grab your drinks, and let's roll the intro. We open up the comic on a panel of Ma and Pa Kent, Superman's parents, driving on the road. They're having a conversation about Connor Kent, who is, if you do not know, Connor is Superboy, aka the clone of Superman, Clark Kent, and Lex Luthor. People don't know that. We find that out in this comic. Spoilers. He's a character that's been around for a while now. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to explain. But that's why he's here. That's why he's in care of the Kent family. If you don't know, he's not like Superman's kid or something. Kind of in a way, but view it how you want. Which, for me, growing up as a kid, and you go from the Teen Titans TV show, there's no Superboy. Like, here, I'll show you on the cover. Like, on the cover here, like, we've got our normal Teen Titans. We've got Raven, we've got Starfire, we've got Cyborg, we've got Robin. But guess what? It's not even the one from the TV show. It's Tim Drake Robin in this one. It's not even Dick Grayson Robin. It's not even Dick Grayson Robin. So that confused the hell out of me when he showed up in this comic and people were like, Tim. I was like, that's not his name. I was like, hold up, that's not his name, guys. But yeah, we got Connor here. That's Connor. But then I saw this guy, Kid Flash, who I didn't know at the time. I don't think I had seen Young Justice at this point. But we get to know more about the Flashes and stuff. If you want a good show, watch Young Justice. See? I get to talk about DC. This video might be very long, and I'm very sorry. But this is the one time I get to... This is one... Probably, I like to talk about DC shit. Okay? Let me have my nerd time. Let me have my time in my enclosure, okay? Let me have my time in my enclosure. But I didn't know who Cassie Sandsmark, who is Wonder Girl. Didn't know who she was. Didn't know Impulse. Wasn't all too familiar with Connor. I didn't even know about Connor. Didn't know nothing about him. But then we got like our normal Teen Titans. We got Starfire looking amazing as hell. We got Cyborg looking amazing as hell. Everyone looks fucking banger as hell on this comic. But this is the introduction that I had to a lot of characters. being Superboy, Kid Flash, Wonder Girl, that were not in the TV show. Seeing them here was my first introduction to them. And just like his Young Justice counterpart, Connor is just as angry at the world, emo, as he is in the series. And it's a good show if you're looking for another superhero show to watch. It's a good show. Connor decides to skip class and Superman catches him. They get to chatting about how Connor feels about his new life in Smallville, thinking that it's boring and that he should be out fighting instead of going to school. And that's when Clark brings up the idea of joining the Titans. I flip the page and now we're suddenly in my home, Gotham. I love Gotham. Where Tim Drake is fighting alongside Batman against the Tweedle Gang, which is like Tweedledum and Tweedledee. There's a lot of Batman villains that are themed around Wonderland, now that you come to think of it. But they're stopping the Tweedles from kidnapping a girl and multitasking a conversation back and forth about joining the Titans with Batman. They have this cute moment where Robin is arresting the Tweedles and he's talking to Bruce, asking if he's trying to get him to join the Titans for some training, and Bruce actually says no. He just asks Tim if he wants time to go see his friends. I love that. The next Titan that we meet in this comic is Bart Allen, also known as Impulse. And his thing is being too cocky, and the current Flash is unsure if he believes that Bart can actually truly live up to the mantle of the Flash. Then, we flip the page again. Cassie, who is Cassie Sandsmark, Wonder Girl. Cassie is seen as a freak and kicked out of school for being a superhero. And Cassie has a bit of an emotional moment where the principal basically screams in her face and tells her that she isn't normal. And then Starfire shows up, giving her a pep talk and gives her the invite to join the Titans. There's also some underlying tension between everyone, like the original Titans, as well as this group of kids in particular, who have tried to be Titans before, it seems like. I don't know anything about the previous comic run. I didn't even finish this comic run. This is the only one in this comic run I have read. So, I don't know anything about what happened before, so don't ask me, guys. I didn't want to look it up because I wanted to read it for myself eventually. So, there's some underlying thing that happened with Donna Troy. Because Donna Troy, the original Wonder Girl, is dead in this comic. I have no idea how she died. I just know that the kids all blame themselves for her death, which isn't good. And it's caused some tension. Cassie and Starfire are flying, and we get this huge panel of the city that these Titans will be based in, San Francisco. Cassie then arrives with Starfire to Titan's Tower and meets Gar Logan, who is known as Beast Boy, for those of you who do not know. He's his typical flirty self, thankfully, and I am such a big Beast Boy fan because he's just this goofy little dude, and his powers are really sick. I mean, he gets to touch an animal, and then he can turn into it, and understand it, and become that animal and everything. It's really super sick. I love him. And he's always just this well-meaning kid most of the time, and he's just a little goofball, and he's funny, and I love Beast Boy. Cassie and Gar meet, and then he leads her inside. Turns out most of the others have already spoken and are already there as well, meaning that the gang has now been introduced, assembled, and about time for some shenanigans to take place. Connor and Robin then have a conversation at night, asking each other why that they came back. Again, referencing to the legacy that the original Titans left behind and how they feel being set up to essentially never compete or never compare. Now, if you're a fan of Young Justice, you know the plot line of Connor's lineage, being a clone of Lex Luthor and Superman, is something that we discover in the TV show. It's also something that we slowly discover in this comic. It's like in this comic book right here. We find out. But they decide to keep it between each other, and there is a hair in my eye, which is bothering the crap out of me. But it's not really a surprise to me. I don't think it's really a surprise to anyone else. And of course, Deathstroke, who Slade is going to be everywhere. Of course, Slade trying to mess with teenage superheroes. What else is new? Someone call Chris Hansen, because Deathstroke has a problem. The next day, after that, Gar and Impulse break a TV while goofing off, setting Starfire to be angry, who acts like the dead mother in this variation. As a kid, seeing her in this role was so different than her other counterpart on the smaller screen on the TV. As an adult who understands more of the lore about Starfire and the different versions of her, I like seeing this version, and I appreciate it as an adult. Cassie almost runs away later that day, but Impulse stops her. And then a bomb goes off over Alcatraz, which we're in San Francisco, clearly. They're going to be near Alcatraz. During this time of the comic, which was only a closed-down prison, it's not what it is today. Back then, it was a closed-down prison that mostly had tourists and tourism going through it for people to, take tours and whatnot. So, a bomb goes off at Alcatraz, and they're worried about the tourists. So, of course, they're going to go save the tourists. Cassie deciding in the moment to stay and help out the others. There's this really funny dig that Connor makes because Starfire takes Robin's hand because Robin can't fly. He's just a human boy. Like, Batman's just a human guy. So, all the rest of them can do, some form of flight. Saying that he's going to tell Nightwing, and I thought that was really funny, and I giggled. Cyborg then comes in to assist in a really badass panel, and I swear that this comic has so many good panels. This comic had so many good panels so often, and I loved it so much. The artist is... I know I wrote it down, but I'm going to tell you. Written by Jeff Johns, and art done by Mike McCone and Marlo Alquazia, who did a lot of Superman stuff. So, there you go. Shout out to those guys for a lot of the panels, for all the panels, all the art, for this entire work of art that I got to read and have gotten to enjoy for over a decade. Thank y'all so much. Don't know if you'll ever find this video, but thank you. This has been an amazing comic. I love it. I loved it as a child when I bought it. I loved it. I still loved it as an adult. Still an amazing work. Let's continue. Let's continue to Alcatraz burning because of a bomb. While the island and the prison are on fire, Impulse runs in looking for survivors, becoming a target for Deathstroke, who, of course, fucking started the fire. It's Deathstroke, guys. It's Deathstroke and the Teen Titans. Of course, it's Deathstroke. It's Slade. Slade started the fire, shooting a dart into the smaller Flash, which makes him stop for just a second. But it's enough for a real haunting warning by Slade as he shot Impulse in the leg. This panel is so brutal. This panel is so fucking brutal. Hang on, I'm gonna find it. Like, he freaking... is so brutal, man. And, like, he's in this place that's just... like, it's dark. It's creepy. You hear Slade's voice, and then you just see the gun as it's about to go off, pointed at his leg. Ah, this part as a kid, I was like, no, 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 no. Oh, but as an adult, I'm like, ah, can't get out of there. He's just a boy. He's just a boy. Oh, it's awful. It's awful, guys. It's awful. He goes, Your metabolism will break down the tranquilizer in less than a minute, but it's all I need. Sorry, kid. Wrong place, wrong time. I'm sending a message, and you're the letter. Tell the Titans. Kids shouldn't wear capes. Blam! Chills, bro. Chills. Chills, bro. Seeing that part as a kid is so tense. God, in the scene in the hospital after that is so tense. Sorry, Cyborg brings Bart into the ER, and the doctors are all talking fast and trying to be faster than his metabolism to heal his leg, to even have a chance to heal his leg. Cyborg having to break it again to even start trying to heal it. Bart then has Cyborg make him a promise as he's about to go under the anesthesia to not tell the Flash about this because he sees himself as a failure. Like, it made me so fucking sad for Bart, for Impulse. It made me so fucking sad for Impulse. Like, he makes him he makes him promise to not tell the Flash that he fucked up. And I'm like, Bart, honey, you getting shot in the leg by Deathstroke is not your fucking fault. It's not. Like, he might be losing his leg, but he worries about letting down the Flash more than about how he got shot. While that's happening in the hospital, Starfire then takes the kids to see the Titans Memorial, which is like statues with all the different Titans that have fallen in the line of duty. Essentially, former Titans that have died. They have a whole memorial filled with statues and plaques with like the reasons why these Titans are gone. Explaining the deaths of some of them and bringing up Jericho, who was Deathstroke's son. How he fought on their side until his death. Robin working out that they were targeted because Slade doesn't want anyone else's kid being killed for this team like his son was. This then riles up Cassie and Connor, wanting payback for Impulse. Robin then agrees with Starfire and tells them that they shouldn't leave, that they should be staying in the tower, and they go upstairs. But turns out he was lying! Yep, Robin lied to Starfire. His brother's now ex-girlfriend, who is superpowered. He lied to her. Their dead mother. The one that's basically running this team alongside Cyborg. He lied to her. Good for him. Good for him. Typical teen behavior. I love the panel too when he says this. Like, they're like, guys, we're gonna need to get out of the window. And they're like, wait, you were lying? And he's like, I lied to Batman. Trying to sneak out is just so classic. Plus, I get it. Their friend was just shot in the fucking knee, and suddenly everyone wants to ground them. No. I would freaking sneak out to see my friend too if I had superpowers of my own. Screw that. I'm going to go protect my buddy at his bedside at least, because those kids had the right idea. I'm totally on their side. In the next panel, we randomly see a demon lady be summoned for 2 pages, who, immediately looking at, I thought was Ventress from the Clone Wars. She looked like Ventress from the Clone Wars to me. So, I guess we'll be seeing that lady soon if that isn't Raven herself. Like I said, it was a decade since reading this thing, okay? I'm reading it again for what felt like the first time. If you don't know who I was referring to, here's a picture of Ventress. Or Scalpatine, I've heard her be called on the Sorta Stupid channel. Shout out to those guys and gals over there at Sorta Stupid. I love them. I now call Ventress Scalpatine. Anyone I see that looks like her, I just call Scalpatine. Great. Anyways, back to the comic book and weird demon summonings. Garfield and Cyborg then fight with Slade on the roof of the hospital that Impulse is staying in. Guess what? Yeah, he came to finish the job. What do you know? The kids had a good reason for sneaking out, Starfire. And it's really well done. This fight is really well done. I love seeing Beast Boy get to scream at Slade about all the others that Deathstroke has harmed. His own son and Terra, which if you don't know the history about Terra, look up the history between Terra, Slade, and Gar Logan. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, please look it up. It's really gross and sad. I feel so bad for Terra, Like, why does she have to betray the Titans in every version? But anyway, please, if you don't know the history between those three, look it up. In this comic, Beast Boy screams at him in the street. He screams at Deathstroke in the street about Terra, and it's so cathartic, and it's so amazing, and I love it. They fight, and it's brought to the streets. Cyborg also seems to have a relationship with Slade that the others don't have, because Slade keeps calling him by his first name, which is Vic, and Cyborg keeps screaming back at him over and over again that they are not friends, even though Slade keeps reiterating that they are. Very interesting. Slade, however, is determined to prove this point, and even saying that he'll go as far as to kill one of the new Titans if it is to ensure that these kids never become heroes again. It's so messed up. Like, this guy is nuts in this comic. He's crazy. It's almost sad but terrifying to see Slade acting like this. It's usually harder to provoke him to take him out or to take him down. Like, it's usually harder to provoke him. So, him acting like this is crazy. Cyborg then again tries to reason with Slade, and he finally loses it and reveals himself to actually be Jericho. Yeah, Jericho, the one that was supposed to be dead, turns out he's not dead. He's been possessing his own dad, guys. For how many years? I don't know, but he's been possessing his dad, it turns out. He's like, I am Jericho. And he's just like... It's scary, guys. It's a scary-ass panel. For those who don't know, Slade's son had the power to jump bodies, like a ghost, possessing others, revealing during this phase of the fight in a monologue about how he survived his near-death at the hands of his own father, explaining that the moment he saw Slade's signature blade going into his chest, Jericho only thought of survival. Choosing to play the long game, letting his mind transfer into his father's, where he then laid in wait, getting stronger until the moment that he could reveal himself in the full possession once again. The moment is low-key very scary, and as a kid, I remember reading was very, very creepy. Like, we already had a weird demon summoning, like, a few pages ago. That wasn't explained just yet, and then that just happened, and now this guy is not really dead, but possessing his dead father's body like Ennard did to Michael Afton in the FNAF franchise. I'm glad we have a twist to everything, but I'm even more confused. Then Bart, Impulse, checks himself out of the hospital. Bart checked himself out of the hospital 15 minutes after knee surgery. Freaking wild. This poor kid, hearing everyone doubting him, and the whole time just wanting to be a good future Flash. Like, a lot happens. That's why we're just... So if you can keep up, you can keep up. A lot happens in the first few, in the next few pages, so I will just list them for you, instead of going as in-depth as I have. Impulse reads an entire library worth of books, and making a decent callback to the start of the comic where he proved that he had a photographic memory, able to memorize instantly whatever he reads. Cassie talks to Ares, yes, the Greek god of war, and in these comics, Cassie is chosen by Zeus to be the Wonder Girl. So she's given her own version of the Lasso of Truth by Ares in a back alleyway. Slade then blows up the area, causing more chaos, where he then beats the crap out of Tim Drake Robin, before the others are able to show up to join the beatdown. Unfortunately, then Jericho takes Superboy's body. Jericho just starts hopping bodies. He starts just hopping bodies. He goes from Superboy to Impulse. Poor kid Impulse. He can't catch a damn break in this comic, can he? Raven then shows up just in time to banish Jericho, but then immediately disappears into a portal by some unseen force. So I assume that she actually was the demon lady that was summoned in the beginning. Apparently in these comics, she's betrothed to the devil himself, who is also her brother. Okay. More of that, I guess, I hope they explain later on. I want to buy the next... Like, if you guys want me to keep talking about comics like this, let me know in the comments below. I'll buy the second issue. I'll read it and I'll make a video about it. But anyways, here we go. Connor and Cassie start kissing just for Wonder Woman to then yank him and yeet him clear off the Titan's tower, which was funny as hell, telling Cassie that they are then going home in that day because Cassie was not actually given permission to join the Teen Titans, turns out. Starfire basically lied and telling Cassie that she was able to go, letting Cassie take the fall as her mentor. Things get really tense again as Starfire then approaches Diana and Cassie on the roof. Wonder Woman, Diana, believes that Cassie needs to go back with her to Themyscira and train with the Amazons. Starfire fully believes that Cassie it should have the opposite. Cassie should be free to make her own choices about where she wants to be and how she wants to train to be the Wonder Girl. Star then throws a bolt at Diana at full speed. She then, I'll tell you exactly what happened. She goes, let's make this, Starfire goes, let's make this easy. Looks at Cassie. You want to leave with her? Cassie says no. Starfire then turns to Diana real slow and goes, she stays. Blast. Independent. Crazy behavior, though. Crazy to do that to Wonder Woman of all people. So the Justice League then shows, of course, fucking course, as if this comic wasn't already chaotic enough. We haven't had enough appearances. We then get the fucking Justice League. They show up and try to calm down the two fighting superpowered women. Nightwing has to, once again, of course, being the best fucking character, Dick Grayson. Love Dick Grayson. Nightwing. Of course, being the fucking best character, being the main one to break shit up with a few words. God, I love Nightwing. We then close out the comic with a few things being set up, like a mystery of where Jericho was banished, where Raven could be, some things about where the squad is being, squared away at. Cassie finds a school who will accept her even if she is publicly known as Wonder Girl. Superman has a heart-to-heart with Connor in a little flyover over Smallville, giving Krypto the super dog to Connor to take care of, which I thought was really sweet and really cute. Deathstroke vows to train his daughter Rose Wilson to kill the Titans, and making a decent setup and ending to this first comic in this run. Now, let's go ahead and talk about my final thoughts about this comic. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed this comic after coming back for so long. There's just so many shots and panels that just really had me feeling the moments that were all supposed to hit. The colors are amazing. The art is amazing. Solidly done. The story, well written. Kind of fast-paced, just kind of boom, 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 boom. But that's really what you expect from a comic book. God, when Impulse gets his leg shot, though, that part just, it's still, I love it. Anyway, I'm going to give this comic a 9 out of 10. Fucking loved it. Simply because I wish it had been longer. Anyways, that's the comic. If you guys loved this comic, or if you've also read this comic run, let me know in those comments below. Let me know. Anyways, I will see you all later. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope you have the best day. Bye!